Hello, this is Jadero, and I am bringing you another tutorial. This one is from Rainbow Loom Enthusiast, which her link to her Instagram is in the box below. She has designed this bracelet, which is called the Loomautobots. So it's a pretty cool design. There's countless possibilities. This one that you see here, I had done in just regular Rainbow Loom opaque bands, and today I would like to try it with some sweets and medieval and see what we come up with. So let's get our supplies. You will need your loom set up as a 4-pin configuration. The first pin and the last pin bars, they will be at this height, and the 2 center pin bars will be 1 pin down, even. So you can make 2 looms long, will be a full bracelet, or you can do like I am today, which is just using 1 loom and adding an extension. So like I had mentioned, with this bracelet I am going to use 3 different colors. I'm going to use the medieval blue, and I would also like to use the Rainbow Loom Sweets collection, and these are just simply metallic gold bands from Rainbow Loom. So I did make one bracelet already that was in the metallic and sweets, and it has a totally different look to it. So let's see what we come up with. If you want your bracelet to look like the one that I had just shown you, it needs to be done all opaque, as it's going to come out pretty different. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab 2 bands, and we're going to place them on the 2 center pegs here, and these will be our capping bands. Okay, so our next step is to grab, I'm going to use my colors, I'm going to use all the way up the sides. I'm going to use the medieval bands, so I'm just going to place a band over to the left, and then place the same color, get my band squared away, over to the right. Okay, so we're going to take that same color, and we're going to go up 1 on both sides. Okay, now I'm going to change out my colors with the next step. Rainbow Loom Enthusiast used the same colors for this step. So if you choose to have the color pattern and use different colors, then you're going to stay with the same color. If you want to change it up with me, then you can just change your colors as I'm changing mine. So for this step, I'd like to take my sweets. Okay, so we're going to go from this peg right here, and we're going to take the band out and up to the left, and we're going to try kind of make like a little bit of a starburst. Go back to this peg, go down to the left, and then we're going to take another band and bring that one straight down there. So it's kind of like a little bit of a starburst. So let's go ahead. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to go from this pin here and go out to the right, and take our next band and go down to the right, and our next band from the bottom up. So as you can see, same pattern. So again, I'm going to use a different color for this next step, but you're more than welcome to use the same color, and this will finish off one section of the bracelet. So the third step here is to add cross bands, X bands. So we're just going to take the band from the bottom there up to the right, and then take another band on this right side up to the left. So just making a simple X. So that is pretty much the design, and that's what we're going to do the whole way up the loom. So now I'm going to go back to my border color. I've chosen to have a border color, and I'm going to put this down, make it a little bit easier for me. I'm going to place one band going up. Using the same color, I'm going to place another band going up, and now I'm going to go back to my sweets, and we're going to make that starburst look again. So we're going to go to the next open peg in the middle and bring that up to the left, back to that same peg, down to the right, take another one where that X left off and go straight up. So they're all meeting up at this one pin right there. So I'm going to go to the other side. We're going to go from this pin bar, or this peg, out to the right, from the middle down to the right, and place a band straight up and push your bands down. So our next step is to make the X. So I'm just starting from the left and placing a band to the upper right, going to the right and placing a band to the upper left. Simple X. So we're just going to continue this again. Same thing. We're going to add a band going up on the left, a band going up on the right. Grab, placing a band from the middle to the up to the left, from the middle down to the right. Another band straight up. Same thing on this other side. So a band going out to the right, from the middle down to the right, and then our last band will go up to that center peg there. So now we do our X. So as you can see, every time we start this pattern over again is the same time that you can start a new color. So as I mentioned, if you want the bracelet to look like the original one, this would be like every time you start your bands on the side here, that's whenever you would start a new color. So again, I'm going to take a band and bring it up. So if you were starting a new color, it would start with these two bands. So we'll take this out, take this down, and up. I'm sorry, I'm not in my typical looming area. Football game is on, so it's a little bit tight. Down, and then up. Okay, and then we're going to add our X bands. And there you go. So again, if you were to start a new color, it would be now, starting with the bands that are going up. Up. Out to the left. Down to the left. And straight up. Out to the right. Down to the right. And then straight up. And adding our X in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish placing these bands. I think you have the pattern down. If you do not, and I'm going a little bit too quickly, you can pause the video and go back. You're really going to have to pay attention when it comes to the looping process because it is a little bit different. We're not as quick to take bands and place them back upon themselves. A lot of the looping here will be taking a band and placing it on the different peg than where it started out from. So when we get to that, just make sure just kind of keep your ears open and eyes for those different looping process. It took me a couple times to kind of excuse me, understand, but it's different, which is cool. I like different. Alright, so this will be the last one that we lay, so we're just going to place a band going up. We're going to place a band going up and do our normal like half starburst. But with this one here, I think actually I think we can go up one more. I'm sorry. So we'll go ahead and lay our X bands, and then we'll add on our N band and these bands here. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me fix this one here. My apologies. We're going to omit the band that goes to this peg here. So we're just going to take the band and place it on that left peg, and then place our band as normal going up. So instead of going up to the right, we're just going to go down to the right, and then place the band going up like that. And we are not going to place our X band there. So we are finished placing bands. So get ready, turn your loom around, and we're going to start the looping process. Okay, so first things first is we need to add a capping band. So if you had done your bracelet in different colors like this, the capping band that I used was the same color that I started with on this bottom segment here. So I used a white one. In my case, because I'm using border bands, I'm not going to, or I'm going to use the same color. So I'm just going to take 2 bands, and I'm going to take my hook, and I'm going to double them. And place them on the 2 center pegs. Typically I don't double my bands if I'm using the thicker bands, but I'm going to go ahead and just do so on this design. So I did make another error. I apologize. We won't be needing this band down here either. I'm so sorry. So I'm just going to hop in here take this one out and pull this band off. It's just a tiny tad different at the end here, so my apologies for having you have to do that. So that's how it will end up right there. Okay, so when we're going to start the looping process, we're going to go into these middle pegs right here, and we're going to grab this top band. So on this one here, we don't have an X, so we're going to grab the band that is going straight forward. So go inside the capping band, which is a doubled band, and grab the top band on top, the one on top. That one's going straight ahead, and loop that over. Go into the other center peg, grab that top band, and we're going to loop this one up as well. Okay, so now with our next step, we do have these X bands, so our looping will be a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this band on the left, even though it's on the bottom, we're going to take this band on the left, and instead of taking it back to itself, we're going to take it straight up. Then we're going to take this band on the right, and instead of taking it back to itself, we're going to take it straight up. So you'll have a little bit of a crisscross in between. So that's the pattern we're going to follow the whole way up. On the left peg, take this band straight up. On the right peg, take this band straight up. Next one, everything is going straight up, no matter where it started out. Make sure you're going inside and grabbing the right band. And it might be a little bit difficult if you're using the same color. Just make sure you know which band you're grabbing. If it's the crisscross band, you know you're in good shape. Okay, so we're going to finish that up to the end of our loom. Alright, so we just got done with our first step of looping, which was all of our X bands. Okay, so our next step, get my bands out of the way here, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to come back down to the middle here, and our next step is going to be taking this band here into this second peg here. We're going to take the top band, and this band here is coming from this peg, but we're not taking it back to itself. We're going to take it over to the left. Okay, so again, we have all these bands that are going straight up. Okay, so let's go to this side. And the one that's on top would be the one that would go straight, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take it over to the right. Okay, so we're going to go back into the next peg, which this one starts our X. So go in under your X bands, grab that top band, and bring it over to the left. Go into this side, grab that top band, and bring that one over to the right. Go in our next one, top band, over to the left, top band, over to the right. Top band, to the right, to the left, top band to the right. I like to do both sides at the same time. You surely don't need to do that. You could go up your entire loom and finish one side and come back down, but I'm just going to go ahead and do both sides at the same time. Okay, I think we got this one down, so I'm just gonna quickly loom up these ones. And if you're doing 2 looms, you can go ahead and pause this and continue looming your second one. Okay, so just to recap, we went ahead and took our bands that were going straight excuse me, underneath our X bands, and we just looped them all over to the side on both sides. So we're going to go ahead back to the beginning of our loom, and our next step is going to be to take these side bands. Just want to make sure I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so when we go in and we look in this second peg here, we see that on top there's the band that goes up to the left, and then underneath it we see the band that goes down to the left. So we're going to kind of like do the opposite looping as we would typically do. So we're going to reach into this peg, we're going to grab this top band, and instead of going back up, we're going to take it down to the bottom left. Kind of like a little crisscross right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and go up one side on this step. So again, go into this peg, grab your top band, and take that one down to the left. So like every band that we're doing is not going back to itself. So take this top band, bring it down to the left, top band down to the left, Okay, so last one, top band, and down to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of push these down because we're going to be doing some more looping on top. Okay, so we're just going to go on the other side and do the exact same thing. We're going to go in and we're going to take this top band here. It should be going up here, but it's not. We're taking it down to the right. Go into our next peg, grab our top band, grab it, bring it down to the right, top band, down to the right, top band, down to the right, top band, down to the right, pretty much the exact same thing, opposite side of the loom. Top band down to the right. Okay, so we have 2 more steps to go. We're going to go back up to the beginning, excuse me, the beginning of our loom, and now we have in this second peg, we have 1 band left. So we're going to go in, grab that last band, and we're going to do the same concept as we just did. So this band is the one that's coming down here, but what we're going to do is we're going to take it out and we're going to bring it up to the left. Okay, so go into this peg here and grab that bottom band, bring it up to the left. Bottom band up to the left. Bottom band up. Bottom band up. Okay, so now, excuse me, I'm going to go back down to my right side and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to go into my second peg and grab the bottom band and now up to the right. Go into this peg, bottom band, up to the right. Bottom band, up to the right. Up to the right. To the right. Be a good idea to make sure all your bands are pressed down so you do have room. So last one, taking it up to the right. So we just pretty much like crisscrossed all of the bands on the sides. So this is what your loom should look like with all of these bands crisscrossed. Okay, so our last step is to loop up all of our border bands. So we're going to reach down inside our bottom middle here, inside that cap band, grab the bottom band, loop it over, back upon itself to the left. And then we're going to follow that process as we normally do when we're looping up a border, just picking out all the way into the bottom, grabbing, making sure you grab that. That looks like 2 bands. Let me make sure. There we go. Making sure we're grabbing that bottom band, because you do know that the bottom band is what makes all, makes our bracelet stay together. Set this down because the loom's getting a little bit tight. Alright, just a couple more to do on this side. Okay, and our last one on the left's going to this left center peg. Okay, so let's go back down to the beginning and go ahead and loom up our right side. I'm going to push down these just a tad so I have room to loop. carefully pull on that, making sure that you don't pull too hard and break one of your bands, because there are a ton of bands on these side pegs. Oops, I think I might have grabbed two there. Alright, so last one, taking it in to the right center peg. So that concludes our looping, and we're going to take a look down in between. As you can see, we've got every band, so that's cool. That means it's not going to fall apart. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of maybe take off these outside ones, because there are a lot of bands on them. So when we're yanking it off our loom, we don't stretch make sure that you these two bands, the bands that are on these two center pegs, stay put because we didn't secure it yet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to take these pegs off. Okay, so I'm going to go into these bottom, or the top two pegs here. Now we did double up on our cap band, so there's two underneath there. Grab the two on this peg. I'm going to hold that with my hand. Now I'm going to grab the same two bands, which are the two bottom bands on this one. I'm going to put them back on my hook, secure them. Excuse me. I'm going to tug up to help release the bands and take it off the loom. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh wow, I love this. Wow, this is like totally different than the first one. So this would be the back side, as you can see, because it has the stitch all the way up. And this is the front side. Give it a little tug here. And because I used Persian and sweets, some of the bands might be twisted, but gosh, this actually came out gorgeous. And you still have a little bit of a tint of blue in the middle. This is fabulous. This is a fabulous bracelet. So great job, Rainbow Loom enthusiast. You did an awesome job designing this bracelet. I think there are endless possibilities when it comes to color. So as you can see, this one here was my first one. This was done with all opaque bands, and I changed colors for every section. This one I did in the Rainbow Loom Sweets and Medieval, and you can see it is a completely different look. Excuse me. So you have endless possibilities here. Wow, what a difference, huh? And I just changed up the colors. So I hope you enjoyed making this bracelet as much as I did. I think this is phenomenal. Just really love how this turned out. Thank you, Rainbow Loom enthusiast. Please give her a follow on Instagram. As I mentioned earlier, her link to her account is in the description box below. If you enjoyed making this bracelet as much as I did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see any bracelets in the future, whether they be blinged or not, please subscribe to my channel. I have lots to come. So thank you for joining me. Bye.